Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
You're watching The Whole Living Show on Trajectory TV.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to The Whole Living Show. We are live this week, and it is that time for Connected Conversations with my bestie. Now, before I bring her in, I'm just going to play you a little bit of joy, something that I just saw that was still in here today, and it gets me all excited. It pumps me up. I absolutely love it. So I got to play it for you because, I want you to experience this joy as well. Okay, I just love that. So that's why I play it. Every once in a while, I play those because it just makes me happy. That was the Battle of the HBCU bands, and I'm an HBCU graduate, and I just love to hear the bands. They just give me so much joy. So, whenever you're feeling down, whenever you're feeling like you just want a little slice of joy, maybe take a break from your day. That video is 24 seconds. So 24 seconds of pure joy for me personally. You stop, you take a little break, you get your 24 seconds of joy, and you go back to doing whatever it was that you were doing. But take those moments, do those little things throughout the day that are going to bring you some joy, that make you stop for a moment, breathe, take in something else, something that makes you happy and fulfills you and just warms your heart. So that's one of those things for me. So that's why I wanted to play it for you too and help you to experience a little joy and just to show you how to take those quick breaks. You know, it doesn't have to be long, just those quick breaks that are going to allow you to have some joy. So I want to bring my bestie in. I'm going to talk about my intro topic, but I want to bring her in for this topic. So let's bring in Shema Stroud.
Hey, bestie.
Hey, bestie.
Hello, living. How you guys doing?
Yes. So I want to talk about healthy living and whole living. And I am, everyone. I'm going to tie it to the Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, whatever you call him, Puffy trial. And this is not to talk about the trial itself.
Right.
But the reason why I want to talk about this is because, you know, I feel like just in listening to all of the summaries of all of the testimonies that have been happening throughout this trial, that people have been stripped of little pieces of joy. So I just played a little piece of joy that I get from that video that I just played. And just in listening to all this testimony, I feel like people were stripped of some joy. So I wanted to talk to you about the divine God, right? God gives you the power of choice. And whenever you are in a situation where you feel like you are being stripped of that power, which nobody can really take away from you, but where you are allowing that power to be stripped from you, either by fear, you know, anxiety, you're scared for your life, whatever it is, whenever you give up that control, now you're being stripped. And now that joy, you know, that healthy joy, that fulfillment that you might have in your life is being taken away. And sometimes when it happens, it's progressive and it's slow. So sometimes you may not even recognize it instantly. And in the summaries, and I have to say the summaries, right? Because this trial is not open to the public. It's not aired on television. But in the summaries that I have been listening to from different lawyers and PR people that have been in the room, when you start to hear the summaries, you do hear in cases where people have gone into situations that are being described in this trial where they instantly understand that something's wrong and they move themselves away from it, or where it has progressively over time started to disintegrate the joy within them, and it starts to degrade them, and it starts to chip away at them. So it has happened in different ways for different people as they have been involved with the things that they are describing around this trial and the charges that he is being faced with. But I wanted to just talk to you about that joy and about really exercising your power of choice and about knowing that that power is within you because it was God-given and no man can take that away from you. And whether you recognize it instantaneously or you start to see how progressively it is tearing you down, please choose you. Choose you and go back to the God-given power and make a different choice, right? And start to choose you and turn away from the things that are starting to chip away at your joy. I just wanted to mention that because, you know, everything that I'm hearing here in this trial is about the manipulation and the control of people that have been in situations where they are around Puffy and what's happening around this trial. So I just wanted to mention that. This is not, again, to talk about the trial itself, but it really is to talk about your God-given right to choose yourself, to make your own choices, to take your power back because it's innate. It's something that God gave you, and it's something that no man can take away. And I want to also say thank you to the people that have come forward, have had the courage to come forward, now choosing them, making that choice to, for whatever reason, because I don't know what their reasons are, but if they are getting some fulfillment and getting their joy back, God bless them, right? And I just wanted to mention that. So that's it. Bestie, you know, if you have some comments there, feel free.
Well, I think you said it. It's not a judgment call, a judgment thing. It's not pointing the finger. Just to help people understand how to put yourself in the shoes, because it doesn't necessarily mean that the acts were done to you, but in a situation where it's easy to get confused, like you said, you walk into a room and you don't feel anything, but some people walk into the room and feel like this is not where I need to be.
Yeah.
My bestie herself said to me something. We were talking about something, and I couldn't understand a point of view.
Mm.
And what she said was, that is a form of control.
Mm.
And though I knew it was a form of control, my question to myself was, why didn't I see it?
Mm.
Why didn't I recognize it at the time or when the statement was made?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not in any way identifying with anybody who is being called on that stand or who is a part of this case, because that is something that what they've dealt with, I couldn't even imagine.
Mm-hmm.
But in my world, the small piece of my world, I see where it's easy to have a blind eye or closed eye to that control, or to even know that you're trying to be controlled, even if you're not already in that situation.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I shout out to those who are speaking out and who are healing from this situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I do want to mention something, it's not really the trial itself, but,
Mhm.
for Cassandra, or Cassie, as they call her,
Mhm.
I want to give a shout out to her because she had her baby. She just had her baby, and I wanted to give a shout out to her for having the courage to do what she's doing, because this changes her world.
Yes,
This
it is.
gives her the courage to move on with her life. And this gives her the courage to now start to raise a healthy child, because now she's a mother, and now
Mhm.
there's another life that she's responsible for. And with her being able to do all that she has done from, the time that she was, and I'm going to say it, and this is my opinion, the time that she has been victimized,
Mhm.
right? Up until now, becoming a mother, I'm sure there was so much work that had to be done in there, for her. And I don't know what, her process was,
Mhm.
but I just want to say kudos to her. Congratulations on having a baby, and, go out there and just raise a healthy baby. And I
Exactly.
feel like, and this is again my feeling, but I feel like she'll be able to do that now because she had the courage to stand up for herself after
Yeah.
being victimized for so long.
Mhm.
So, shout out to her.
Unburden
God
herself.
bless her
Freedom
baby.
and unburden.
Say that
Free.
again.
She's free. She's freeing herself and she's unburdening herself.
Yeah.
What
And
better parent is
unburdening the life of her child
that? Exactly.
as a result of it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So just wanted to mention that, everyone. So listen, tonight, we like to talk a lot about many different things on Connected Conversations, and we've been talking a lot about different relationships. Well,
Yes.
tonight is no different. And I want to say this, right? Healthy relationships are a big part of having a whole life, right? A whole, healthy, holistic life. Relationships are a big part of it. And there was studies done on relationships between women and girlfriends in particular, right? So we're here to talk about girl code
Okay.
tonight. Ooh, girl code, yes. So what is it?
Ooh.
What is girl code? So, if you look it up, if you Google it, or if you chat GPT it, or whatever you want to do, however you want to look it up, it says it is a set of unspoken rules and guidelines primarily focused on how women should interact with each other, especially regarding friendships and relationships. It emphasizes loyalty, support, respecting each other's boundaries, and often involves avoiding situations that could be seen as betraying or undermining your friendship. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Such a good definition.
Yes,
Oh
it
my
is.
God, it hit everything. The unspoken, the loyalty,
Mhm,
everything.
mhm.
It touched on everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and that was Google. That was a Google search, you guys, just so you know. And I can give you I like to use Chat GPT as well. But listen, when you're looking things up, Never take just one thing at face value,
Oh, no.
right? Even though
No.
ChatGPT is AI, it is not always right. They actually say that it's like between 80 and like 95% right in certain situations. So listen, you want to make sure that you go to multiple sources when you are doing research. It is there to assist you, but it is not always the final definition, right? So just want to give you that. But it basically says the same thing. It says, girl code is a term that typically refers to the unspoken set of rules or principles that women follow to support, respect, and empower each other, especially in social, romantic, and friendship contexts. It emphasizes loyalty, solidarity, and mutual respect among women. So very similar definitions there, though they have a slightly different twist to them, but very, very similar.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start off with a little story. And my bestie knows this story, but I can remember. So I used to take these trips with some college friends, and we had a girl code. It was, again, like the definition says, it was an unspoken rule amongst us. But you never leave your girlfriends behind, right? You always make sure that your girlfriends are good, especially when you are traveling and in these cases, we were going out of the country. When you're going out of the country, everyone sticks together. Everyone makes sure that everyone else is good. And we make sure that everybody that came with us is also going home.
That's
Absolutely.
right.
Absolutely. So that was girl code for us. And it wasn't some rule that we had. We didn't put any credos together, right? It was just that unspoken rule that we always had. So I can remember going to Cancun, Mexico, and we had this instance where we were at a club and we were partying and having a good time, and all of our girlfriends were accounted for. But one of my girlfriends walked into the restroom at this particular club and saw a young lady passed out on the floor. So she called me and another girlfriend in, and she said, and my girlfriend was inebriated, but she was aware. So she called us in and she said, this young lady is passed out, and I've been in here for a little bit and I don't see anyone coming and looking for her. So we waited for a while and we tried to wake her up, and she would not wake up. This young lady she was done. She was breathing, but she was unconscious, basically, and passed out on the floor, sprawled out, like between two different stalls at that on the floor. So we waited and we waited and we just kept watch for a little while. And it was the end of the night, pretty much the end of the party, and no one came. So the three of us picked this young lady up. We had a rental car in Cancun. We had this open rental Jeep that we had that night. We picked her up. We put her in our Jeep. We took her back to our hotel. Me and my one girlfriend who found her, we had a pull-out couch in our room. All of us did, but because we found her, we had a pull-out couch in our room. We pulled out the couch. We put her on the pull-out couch. This young lady did not wake up through all of that, through us picking her up, bringing her to our room, putting her on this couch. She did not wake up. We still made sure that she was breathing, and she was. She was breathing. So we said, okay. My one girlfriend who was slightly inebriated said, listen, I've been in this state before, but I've never had a situation where my friends didn't, make sure that I was okay and that I was getting the assistance that I needed. So she said, she needs to sleep it off. So the next morning, this young lady woke up and she was in our room, and she woke up dazed because she did not know where she was. So we did tell her, listen, we picked you up out of the bathroom. We brought you back to our hotel because you didn't have any information on you, nothing. We didn't know where you were staying, anything, but we wanted to make sure that you were okay. So we brought you back here. She was in tears. She was in shock and in tears. And we just asked her, where are you staying? We can take you back to your hotel. But I did mention to this young lady, like, you need a new group of friends. Like, these are whoever you're with are not the people that you should travel with, particularly out of the country. And we ended up taking her back to her hotel. And, she was very grateful for us for just looking out for her. And I wonder where this young woman is today, because we didn't keep in touch with her. We just made sure she was okay to go back to her hotel. But that's a big no-no, to leave your girlfriend, to not know where your friends are when you're about to leave a party, and to leave her in a bathroom or just not know exactly where she is and leave, it's a no-no. That goes completely against girl code. So as
Mhm.
you heard me say earlier, we make sure we all come together, we all leave together, and everybody gets back home safely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what's your thoughts there?
Well, I know that story. I've not been in her shoes, but I've had nights when I went out with other people who are not my core people.
Mm,
And I listen, I'm pretty transparent even on your show. It doesn't really matter wherever you see me. I'm gonna tell you what it is.
yeah.
I've been inebriated.
Mhm.
And though, like you said, your friend still had the wits about herself. I had the wits about myself enough to know that I was drunk and
Yeah.
I didn't want anything else to drink.
Mhm.
But the sad part is I didn't want to ruin everyone's night when I was sleepy. So I went to sleep on the
Mhm.
bathroom floor. I locked the door and went to
Uh-huh.
sleep. And everybody who came by, I did not let them in because I didn't recognize their shoes. So when I finally did recognize one pair of shoes, it was a summer school. I was in summer school. All of my core people were gone. I hung
Mhm.
out with this girl one time. When I recognized her shoes, I let her in there. She was
Mhm.
also inebriated. She
Mhm.
went to the bathroom and she said, I got to take you home.
Mhm.
Party was not over. It was actually just beginning. But
Mm.
that girl was not my core person.
Mhm.
Took me all the way back to the dorm, put me in my room, in my bed, and then drove back to the club
Mm.
with the rest of the girls that we were with.
Wow.
Came to check on me the next morning. And she didn't have to carry me, but
Mhm.
I walked, I was coherent enough. I was still drunk, coherent
Mhm.
enough to make it to my room. She just wanted to make sure I made it to my room.
Yeah.
So even if the girl code didn't encompass me as her friend, her girl code or moral code was
Mhm.
strong enough to make sure that the person who came with her and
Mhm.
was not okay, made it back okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I appreciate all aspects of that.
Mm. Mhm.
Your girlfriends, those who care about you, because like you said, that wasn't your core person.
Mhm.
She was a woman.
Yeah.
And that can happen to anybody.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Try to put
Absolutely.
yourself in other people's shoes when you see things like that.
Yeah. And gratefully, the young lady that you were with recognized, what the code is. And I love that you said moral code, right? Because
Yeah.
is there really a difference, right?
Just
When you
that.
think about it, it's doing what's moral, what's ethical, what's right by other people, right? For the safety and security of anybody
Right.
that you encounter where you can help. That's what you're supposed to do, right?
And she
So,
had so much compassion. She was apologizing.
mm,
No, honey, I took those drinks.
yeah.
Like, but I'm just so sorry. She was sorry I was drunk. She was sorry I was gonna miss the party. She was
Mhm.
sorry she was drunk. It was a lot of apologizing going on. But to this day, I don't ever forget it. I don't
Yeah.
ever forget it because it could have went way left.
Yeah,
It could have went
absolutely.
way left. So yeah.
Absolutely.
And
And
that
that
those
was that was our thought process when we picked
are
up
right.
this young lady. Like we were in Mexico. It's like anything could happen, right? Anything could happen, particularly when you're just passed out in the bathroom. Either you could have been left there until the place opened the next day, and who knows when
Right.
that would have been, right? Or someone could have
Somebody
come
else.
and victimized you in some way, shape, or form, which
That's
we were
right.
like, absolutely not. We're not leaving her here because we don't want anything to happen to her. The last thing that I would want to do is potentially see something that I can actually make a change for and not do anything and then hear that something happened later, knowing that I could have made a difference.
Mhm.
That will never happen on my
That's
watch.
gonna hurt.
Never.
That's gonna hurt. And
Yeah,
it's gonna sit with you. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well,
Oh, we've got our little brother here who needs to
he
come
said
on with us again.
he said people
Is
were
it?
so nice in the 90s. You are right. We
You're
were.
absolutely right, and that was the
That
90s
was the
too.
90s. Yes, it
It is
was.
definitely a different world now, but for
It
those of
is.
us who have a moral compass, we're definitely
It
going to
carries.
continue to make sure that
It
people are
carries.
okay. And even though you are younger than us, little brother, I know that you are that way as well because
Right.
my second mama raised you right. So absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So we want to talk a little bit about girl code, and we're going to get into some situations, right? Describe some situations where girl code has been broken, right? Or just situations where we feel like, you should make some changes or adjustments in order to stick to the girl code and make sure that your people are okay. So I don't know, Shima, you want to take it away and describe something that you have for us?
Um, you know what? I think about it with disagreements. I'm
Mhm.
gonna try to make this as blanket as possible because it could be male, female, it could
Mhm.
be female, female.
Mhm.
I don't think you and I grew up with, well, you mad at her, I'm mad at her too. Now I could be mad at her too.
Mhm.
If something this person does to you, I'm not gonna like it.
Mhm.
It's not gonna sit well with me. I am gonna be mad at her.
Mhm.
Does that mean I'd have to treat her bad, fight her when we were younger? Yeah, it meant I'm fine.
I was gonna
Let's
say
just
in some
not be.
cases.
I'm gonna go back to the 90s. No, so to the 80s. Yeah, back then I probably would have.
Yeah.
But it just means I'm acknowledging that you did something to a person that I care about.
Mhm.
And I'm not gonna reward you with my attention
Mhm.
or my time or my regard.
Yeah.
I'm not, because I need you to understand what you did to someone that I love.
Mhm.
Because in a sense, indirectly, you did it to me.
Mhm.
And I think that's something recent that I've been just trying to grapple with in my mind. Because I'm not gonna be okay with anyone
Yeah.
damaging, hurting, or a person that I love. I think when you and I talked about it, we gave varying scenarios.
Mhm.
So if I've known you forever, let's just go to the actual scenario you and I talked about. You're dating someone, it doesn't turn out well, he doesn't
Mhm.
treat you well. I
Mhm.
I don't like him.
Right. That's not my friend.
That's not my friend.
Point blank.
That's not my friend. Now, if he was my friend before, then I'm really gonna give you the business. You
I was
still
gonna say
might
he's gonna
be
get
my
the
friend,
business. Yeah,
but you
for
still
sure.
gonna get told off. You're gonna know exactly how I feel about
Mhm.
the way you mishandled my person.
Mhm.
But I'm still, does that mean that friendship is ended? No, I don't like what you did. I'm
Mhm.
gonna be very angry about it.
Mhm.
But if it's somebody that I wasn't, you met me and you became close to me because my girlfriend was dating you. She's done with you. I'm done with you. We're just
Right. Nothing else to talk about.
done because our connection was created through that relationship. You
That's right.
damaged that relationship. See, I don't want to get computer, C language. I don't want to get flowchart on y'all.
You go
But
give some Java code or something.
if you really want to think about it and you start doing the flowcharts, Tracy was connected to Bob this way. Bob met Tracy's friends. Bob screwed up. Bob is no longer Tracy's friends.
Yeah.
That's girl code. It's very a low level description of girl code, or maybe it's
Mhm.
high level because I didn't drill down as much as I could. But it's the honest feeling. You
Yeah.
can't toy with someone I love like that and think it's okay.
Now to
And
get
I get angered by, I guess, the repercussions after, because I not that I ever want you to be like, oh, you don't speak to her, I don't speak to her either. We're not.
Mhm.
But I need you to acknowledge how I'm hurt by whatever that was, and that person did it.
Yeah.
But and then when I see you engage with that person in a manner that is disloyal,
Mhm.
because let's just go with the definition. Disloyal,
Mhm.
it makes me think about how you feel about our relationship.
And I was gonna ask you, do you feel like that's a form of betrayal?
I do,
Mhm.
because if it's frivolous, yeah. But if it's something, if I listen, if you hurt me, and my friend is watching me hurt and it doesn't hurt her,
Mhm.
or in some kind of way, not as detrimental to me as it would be to her. I mean, to her as it would be to me,
Mhm.
but it doesn't sit well with you in some kind of way. I wonder, about your level of care for me.
Yeah. And you know what? It begs the question too. Like, what's going to be the extension of that? Like, how far will you go into your so-called friendship of the person who has hurt, disrespected, whatever it is, your friend, right? So now when you start to continue, or when you continue rather, not start, but continue to engage with this person in a manner that's supposed to be so friendly, and I got to keep putting up my air quotes.
Right.
What's the extension of that? How far will you go?
Right.
Because then it starts to become a form of betrayal in my mind.
Exactly.
If you're going to continue this so-called friendship with this person that has done something that you know about, you very well know about, to a person that you love and care about. Right. So I was thinking, how far will you?
I agree. I saw a post, you're on social media, and I saw a post the other day that said, I won't tell. If you're my friend, you're a girl, and you're cheating on your man, or if your man, I don't know. I don't want to say it wrong, but the way it was is, a guy said that he would tell his guy friend if his girl was cheating on him, though he hangs out with his guy friend, and the guy talks to all different women.
Well,
his friend.
I mean, I would do the same.
That's the code.
If you were, and I'm just using you as an example, right? But if you were cheating on your boyfriend and then I saw him cheat, of course I'm not going to tell him that you're cheating because you're my person, right? And I will express to you how I feel about you cheating, but I'm not going to tell him. But if I see him out cheating, I'm going to tell you.
Right.
That's just code. That's friendship code.
Then now, my question following that is, you and I are friends. I have cheated on my man, which you feel compelled to tell my man.
No, I don't feel compelled to tell your man. Is he my brother? Because otherwise, I don't feel.
But you like him. You like him. He's friendly. You get along. All that good stuff. But you have decided, as the friend of both of us. Joanne said if they both cheating, I'm minding my business.
Minding my business. Look, drink your water, mind your business,
Joanne. But you've decided to tell. What does that say about girl code?
For you? And then you're breaking girl code.
100%.
And especially when you're my friend, not him. It would be different if he's my friend and I met you through him. And so then I'm going to tell him if you're doing something, but not if you're my friend and he's your guy. I'm not telling.
I told you. See, when you said the definition, the things that popped out to me was loyalty.
Yeah.
It makes a difference who has your loyalty.
Yeah.
In that same, I'll give another scenario. I can understand. I have a friend who had to say to me, I understood the relationship before I got into my relationship. And she explained to me what it was. But she also explained that it did not make her happy to see what went down.
Yeah.
And she said it to both of us.
Yeah.
And I
want to quickly, before you continue, just address Ryan's question here. What happened to that moral compass? See, I know, Ryan, you're going to want to come in on this show again because I know you got a lot to say. However, I want to say this, right? My morals are and my values go to the person that I love and care about. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to rip my friend for doing what she's doing. But that's going to be us in private. I'm not going to go back and tell her man what she's doing. I will let her know what I feel she's doing wrong. And then she has to make some decisions for herself about how she wants to continue with that person, right? But I'm not going back to that person because he's not my person. She is, right? So that's where
Ryan, I'm gonna shout out my friend and I'm gonna say her name because I can. Because when I tell you we call her the moral compass, she's the moral compass. My girlfriend Janine, She might keep your secret because she your girl. She loyal to her friendship. But don't think you getting away with just old top of the line conversation where she doesn't have to say to you. Now you know that's wrong. She is gonna give you the business, but it's between you and her. She's not gonna. Her loyalty is to you.
Absolutely. And I see what Joanne is saying here, where the couple will stay together and then she's looking crazy. She said it's happened to her before. Yeah, and it's changed the friendship. Naturally so, right? Naturally so. And those are decisions you have to make. But listen, if you have girl code with your friends should be able to take whatever you tell them and trust that you are telling. When you have a great relationship with your friends and trust that you are giving them truth, right? And honesty, and it's all out of love, and they can move forward in whatever way they want to move forward, right? Without judgment from you. Listen, I'm giving you the situation. Now you can do what you want with it, and I'm giving you my opinion.
Right.
Because I don't have to stay quiet as your friend. I'm going to respect you, but I'm also going to give you the truth. So
together.
I question. Yeah, I question, what if those are really friends, right? Because you have to be able to take some constructive criticism, I'm going to say, from people that love you and have your best interest at heart. You may not like it. It's no different than I see my beautiful mom on here. It's no different than when your mom tells you that you're doing things that she does not like. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to not be in a relationship with your mother, and you might be mad. We've had situations where my mom has come to me and said things that she does not like in relationships that I've been in. And I was mad, but I love my mother. So I'm going to continue that relationship with my mother. And I may even express how I feel about what she had to say. Now, 9 times out of 10, she was right. Yep, I said it, Mom. I know. 9 times out of 10, she was.
Well, we got to learn.
But in those moments, I didn't want to hear what she had to say, right? Because it was my experience.
Absolutely.
So sometimes friends don't want to hear what you have to say, even though you're giving them truth and honesty, right? And it's out of love. They're going to have to go through their own path, but it doesn't mean you don't express how you feel or what you've seen, what you want to warn them about, because some people may take the warning. Right? Some people will learn from others' experiences, and some don't. Sometimes you.
I think I'm a big proponent on that part because I don't know why I seem like I'm single. I'm often single when my friends are not. So when I see things or I know things, I'm telling them because I love them, not because I want them to break up, not because I want their man. If you get mad at me. And to the point where you can get mad at me because we all have the opportunity to not like what we heard.
Yeah.
But to the point where you don't want to speak to me anymore, and you know that I'm coming from a place, like you said, of genuine, rare honesty. That's going to make me question our friendship because why would I come to you with information that is damaging to you if I didn't want the best for you?
Right.
I have to think of, I had something to say about what you said. Now I just lost my thought, but I've been in that situation where you feel like if I say this, she's going to take it the wrong way, or she's going to think I'm just being, facetious. For one, and this is all like about talking about morals and being discerning. I'm always going to do. After I learned my lesson younger, I'm always going to do what God says for me to do. So if there's any voice, if the Spirit says to me in any way, say what I told you to say, I'm going to say it. No, there's no malice. And that comes from me as a person, just a regular old person that talks to everybody. And I talk to everybody. Why I say that too, because I had a friend whose husband was the worst. I saw him everywhere. He cheated all the time. And I'm going to tell her. I told. But I also asked her, listen, I'm also a woman. It's hurtful to hear those things. So I said to her, do you want me to stop telling you? When I see it, when I witness it, if I'm in a situation, do you want me to just shut up? And she told me no. She told me no.
Mhm.
So, and she knows it's for her better. I don't want her, like you said, you're going around looking crazy. I would rather her not go around looking crazy, loving this man,
Mhm.
and the world has him. And she
Mhm. Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask her, do you want to keep hearing it? And she did. And I keep telling her.
I love that. I love the fact that you asked the question, right? Because when it gets to a point where it's something that just continues,
Yeah.
and you said, do you want to hear this or not now? Because it's something that I'm seeing so frequently, right? And for
I can
her
see the
to,
hurt on you. I
yeah,
see it.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
don't want to be the person hurting you constantly,
continuously, yeah,
whether it's directly or indirectly, because it's
yeah,
really directly, because I'm just telling you what I see.
yeah,
But if I can mitigate it, I will stop. I
yeah.
promise you.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing, and we're going to take a quick commercial break and we're going to come back. So I'm going to preface the commercial with this. Here's the thing. Do not bring back hearsay. You heard Shema say that this was something that she saw. I feel like, sometimes people get in situations where, they want to put out whatever the rumors are. Okay, we're going to talk about that when we come back. We're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back, everyone. We're talking about girl code and girlfriend relationships. Here we go.
You're watching The Whole Living Show on Trajectory TV.
And we are back, everyone. Thank you for waiting while we took that commercial break. But we're talking about girl code and, those girlfriend relationships. I see here that Joanne had made a comment. Some people are not ready for the truth, no matter how long the friendship.
So
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about this first, because this is true. How some people are not ready to hear the truth, right? And listen, if you don't want to hear the truth about whatever the circumstances are, right, in general, um, as long as you know the truth about the people that love and support you, right, and who
Yeah.
are loyal to you, no matter how much that truth hurts, and even no matter how mad you get. Now, I would rather my friend be mad at me for being honest and telling the truth for something that I saw, because we did preface the commercial break with don't bring back hearsay to anybody, right? It doesn't do anyone any good. You have no real proof. But if it's something that you saw, and it's something that will affect your girlfriend, you bring that back. Now, I would rather you be mad at me for bringing it back versus being mad at me for seeing something and not saying anything at all, and just trying to like hide it or keep it to myself. I think that would hurt more, right? Because now you're being hurt by two people, not one, right?
Right.
You
And
can
the
you can
same
be mad at the truth.
messiness that you see out there, like you said, bringing back the stories that they haven't seen themselves, sometimes is the same messiness that comes about when you don't tell
Mm,
and someone says, well, Shema was there, she saw.
mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's not what drives me.
Yeah.
What drives me is to give you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And this may sound harsh or maybe a little too blunt, but if truth is not what you want, then I'm not the friend you want to
Yeah.
ask.
Yeah.
I'm
Agreed.
not the one you want to ask.
Agreed.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. I'm gonna try to give it to you nice because I know this mouth. I'm gonna try to give it to you nice, but I'm not gonna lie about it.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. And I'm gonna give it to you nice, but it's gonna hurt. And
Yeah,
I'm gonna console you if you want me to console you, or
right.
I'm
We
even
gonna
gonna give
cry
you
together.
space where you need space, right?
Mhm.
But the truth is coming. If it's something that I've seen, it's definitely something that I'm gonna bring back to
Mhm.
my friend, right?
I offer things. You want to cry? You want to drink? You want to break things? What we gonna do? We doing it together. So what we doing?
But we've had our girl code is all right. It's time for a round table, and we
Yes.
get around a table with some drinks and some food, and we just talk it out. We work it
Let it
out,
all out.
right? However it needs to be done. But there goes that love and loyalty and support, right?
Absolutely.
That you need from your girlfriends in whatever the situation is.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily have to be in a relationship. It can also be
Right.
family things, right? You losing someone you love, anything.
I think like the biggest one of the bigger examples that you and I um talk about, or even I can remember talking about back when you were fighting where you were diagnosed with cancer. I can say that because you freely tell that
Hmm.
story.
Oh yeah.
And you felt compelled not to talk about it or
Hmm.
not to cry about it. But why?
Hmm.
Let's be mad together. How dare you come for my friend cancer? That's how I
Right.
felt. In these girl relationships, you hurt when they hurt. If they're
Right.
real, they're true and they're honest and they're loyal. You hurt when they hurt.
Yeah.
When they have children, you're joyful because those children are my children. Just to let y'all know, my nephew's graduating in 2 weeks. I'm just,
Woohoo! Shout out
and
to my
just so
Jordan.
you know, that's her baby. I had to say he was mine. He's mine, but
That's
he
right.
gave him to me.
That's
So
right.
you revel in those joys and the highs and the lows. So,
Mhm.
and if you don't, can you really call that true girlfriendship?
Yeah. Yeah. And it makes me just think about, and I'll put this comment back up there, where Joanne says that some are not ready for the truth. Well, and something that you just said and kind of hit me a little bit. If you're ready for me to celebrate you and with you in the triumphs, why not in the challenges,
What
right? Because
is that?
in true friendship and when it comes to girl code, we're supposed to be there for it all,
Mhm.
right? It should not be one sided. It should not just be when everything feels good, right? Or when everything appears to be good. It shouldn't be based on appearances. It's in love and it's in truth, and it should be around the challenges and the triumphs equally.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I
yeah.
have to now. You know that you made me think of my recent girls trip with a
Hmm.
group of girls that we met through work. One of the things, a mantra I think of in my mind is career or jobs made us coworkers.
Hmm.
Living life made us friends,
Hmm.
and loving each other made us sisters.
Yeah. Amen.
So we saw everything. These women, their children aren't in their teens,
Hmm.
15 and 16 years old. They had none when we met.
Hmm.
They're married. We've seen sickness. We've lost parents. It's
Hmm.
7 of us. And we just went to Phoenix 2 weeks ago. And that is what I mean. We reveled in every bit of that.
Yeah.
Because like you said, we celebrate all the good stuff. We partied,
Hmm.
we vacationed, we cried,
Hmm.
we mourned. So if you're gonna be there for some, you can't just have all the good.
Yeah.
You're just not gonna have all the good.
Yeah.
And just going back to the first bits of conversation when we're talking about how it should be, and I said, ask the question. Ask the question.
Hmm.
Excuse me. Ask the question. Are you okay? Is there something I can do?
Yeah.
Do you want to hear me say these things anymore?
Yeah.
I think going back to the breakups, one of the things that quickly glazes over is that first question. How are you doing with it?
Hmm.
Because even though we're quick to be like, I'm good, it's over,
Hmm.
or I feel better. If it's illness, I feel better. But we say that because we know we have to get back to the next thing.
Yeah.
Got to keep moving.
Yeah.
But it's our jobs and it's our code to be like, well, how are you really doing?
Mm-hmm. And I was going to say, when it comes to girl code, right, it's okay to not be okay.
Absolutely.
Right. Something that we've talked about in Women Empowered, right? And that organization and that wonderful group of sisters, right? It's okay to not be okay. And it's okay to say that you're not okay. Doesn't mean you have to stay there, but
Right.
you should feel like you are protected enough and safe enough around the girlfriends where you have this true girl code to be able to say you're not okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how great is it to have that, to have those type of tribal friendships that you could pull on? Because somebody, you should have places to pull from. Not everybody is great in every aspect.
Yeah.
This one she don't give up. She I'm not gonna let that bother me. Oh, I don't see how you bother with that. She's quick to be like, shh.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, why? I need to find out why.
No.
And I want to help you. And
I can say, listen, I recently said to the wonderful person that I'm in a relationship with now, I'm like, there's two things that I just will not deal with, right? And that's cheating and, abuse, right? So I'm not going to ask questions. I don't need to know why. If either of those things were to happen, I'm done. I'm out. We're not talking about it. I don't need to know anything. I don't need explanations, right? And I know my beautiful bestie there, when things happen, she wants the why. She needs to know the answer.
How did this happen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm so engrossed in the good.
Yeah.
That I'm like, oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what's happening?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, that's over.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
But for all of those out there, right, because we are coming to the end of the show, and yes, this is called The Whole Living Show, so we talk about it all. Anything that affects your whole life, which relationships are a huge part of that, and girl code is definitely a huge part of that. Women friendships are so important. And men, we don't leave you out. Your friendships are important too. But there have been studies around, women and women gathering and women supporting one another, and the loyalty and the camaraderie and the sisterhood that happens, and the amazing things that come out of women having support. So we wanted to talk about girl code and that loyalty, because we want to make sure that all of you have good girlfriends. And if you don't, you have two right here.
There you go.
Right here. We are two great girlfriends. We want to make sure that you have the support that you need.
Absolutely.
To live a whole life. So we appreciate and love you all out there. We'll be coming back here next week at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on The Whole Living Show. You can find us on Facebook, on YouTube, and on the Ep17 TV network under Trajectory TV. We love you. We'll see you again next week, everyone. Take care.